Hello, everyone, and welcome along to the Commentary Hub here for the return of the EFL season 2022-2023. I'm the alternative match commentator for this one, Mike Kahneman. It's Huddersfield against Burnley. Huddersfield, of course, suffered in the playoffs last season. They suffered playoff heartache at the hands of Nottingham Forest in the final. And Burnley suffered a different kind of heartache with relegation from the big time back down to the Championship. So plenty of changes between both sides as well in terms of ins and outs, etc., which I will get to throughout the programme. But alongside me today, or tonight, I should say, we've got Luke Turton, who I'm sure is still buzzing off of that playoff final win as well. I think you're just happy to be be given the opportunity to cover a Huddersfield game as well, nice and early on in the season. So, good evening, Luke, and hope you're well.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I am very excited to be watching a Huddersfield game because I've had lots of banter with a Huddersfield fan over the summer. It's been brilliant. But, the Championship comes round again and they've got another chance to mount a promotion push if they believe that is possible this season, which the Huddersfield fans don't seem to be that confident after losing Carlos Corberán, Harry Toffolo, and Lewis O'Brien.
Yeah, I was just looking here when I was doing some research regarding their transfers, etc. They've brought in quite a few players, but they're all players really from lower leagues. Jack Rolduni from AFC Wimbledon. They obviously went abroad to sign Yuta Nakayama as well. Obviously, Conor Mahoney's got championship experience with Millwall, but Will Boyle, David Kasuma, Romany Critchlow, obviously went back out on loan again, I think, as did Matt Daly as well. But they're obviously players, that are sort of more sort of used to playing, League One and League Two rather than Championship football.
Yeah, but some of the players that make it through to the Premier League start from non-league, so they have to go to a Championship team, get noticed, and then that's how they get the big moves.
And of course, you mentioned. Go on.
I'm not concerned with Huddersfield going with that approach because again, Huddersfield aren't a massive club, so they won't have that much money to spend. So they have to do it wisely. So it makes sense to use that approach in the Championship to sustain themselves and not worry about getting any points deductions or anything. My bigger concern is whether those players can live up to the holes that are left with O'Brien and Toffolo. That's my
they're two big misses, obviously, for them that have both moved on to Nottingham Forest and going to be playing Premier League football this coming season, I have to say. Obviously, Pippa left to go to Olympiacos as well. And then they got rid of quite a few other players that were released, Fraser Campbell being one of those, Naby Sarr as well. And I think Jamal Blackman obviously went to Exeter. So they got rid of quite a few. And as for Burnley have had a real crazy window, even up until yesterday when obviously Dwight McNeil left to go to Everton. And that was just the latest of players to leave Turf Moor.
Yeah, I mean, Burnley have got that risk where they've had that much overturning players that it could actually harm them more than do them good because there is that spine of the team that's come down that wants to then try and mount push back up. I think they've got to the stage now where the squad age-wise kind of outgrew the club because you could name Burnley's team week after week because it was that memorable because they've been there for that long. And I think it was always going to happen that they're going to have that overturn. But also, I've seen it with my team where we signed a lot of players in the Championship season and expected it to gel, and it doesn't necessarily work that way. So we'll have to see how it works today. But I'm also very interested in Aro Muric in their goal because it's the first time I'm going to see him play since he played his last game for Nottingham Forest.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll get onto the lineups in a second, but Obviously,
Somebody,
I was just
somebody
saying we'll get
told
onto
me
the
that.
lineups. I was just going to say we'll get onto the lineups in a second. But they obviously have brought in quite a lot of players as well. Sold loads. Obviously, Chris Wood was the first of them at the end of last season in January. Then obviously Nathan Collins has moved on, Nick Pope's moved on, James Tarkowski, Burnley, Wayne Hennessy, Vuk Weghorst, Aaron Lennon, Dale Stevens, Eric Peters, Phil Bardsley, and obviously Dwight McNeil being the latest, as I said. And obviously there's still Maxwell Cornet as well is another one who isn't involved today in any capacity, and another one who's likely to be making that move as well, and on the way out soon.
Yeah, lots and lots of outgoings, but then again, like I said, it was expected. Somebody told me about Muric playing against England. I mean, it can't be that memorable because I don't remember it.
Nor do
So
I, actually, to be fair.
it's going to be interesting. But again, a Premier League team that comes down and has that much of an overturn of outgoings,
Yeah.
it's going to disrupt things. They also had to replace Sean Dyche and then Mike Jackson towards the end of the season. They brought in Vincent Kompany. But again, he's an unknown quantity in English football, kind of as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
So there's big risks with Burnley. I don't think it's going to be as clear cut as everybody thinks. I mean, I know I predicted them to go up in the top two last night, but I still have to urge caution that it's not going to be an easy season, even if they do get the top two, because the Championship never is.
No, that's so true. And obviously, Vincent Kompany, as you say, has come in a real, stalwart of Belgium and of Manchester City. Obviously, he was at Anderlecht as well, managing over there, and he's actually gone to, both Manchester City and also the Belgian leagues in terms of some of his signings. Obviously, Josh Cullen being one from Anderlecht. Obviously, Muric, as you already mentioned, there was at Manchester City, as was Egan Riley and Harvard Bellis as well. And even the latest signing that they brought in, Vitinho as well, was at Cercle Bruges over in Belgium too. So, he's kind of using his knowledge really of Manchester City's younger players and the academy, and also of the Belgian league too, to kind of help Burnley a little bit in terms of some of their incoming.
I think that was always going to happen. I mean, you could put a stick on that Vincent Kompany was going to go and raid Man City because he'll know what the talent is there from way of playing there.
Yeah.
It's not really changed that much. They obviously loan players out. They like to give them experience, and then the odd one gets into the City team. But it's like every other Premier League team that's at the top. They often buy perfection players than they do trying to bring them through. So in a sense, the lower leagues get the rewards of the big academies.
And we'll start off with the lineups as well now. And Vincent Kompany's first lineup is in charge of Burnley. He's gone with Muric in goal, as you already mentioned. He's got Roberts, Harwood Bellis, Taylor, and Matson along the back. Then Cullen, Cork, and Bastian in midfield, with Brownhill, and then Barnes and Costello, who's a young player from the academy as well. So that's an interesting one there to include him from the start. And as for Huddersfield and Danny Schofield's first lineup, he's got Nichols, Turton, Edmonds, Green, Lees, Ruffles, Hogg, Thomas, Russell, Holmes, Koroma, and Ward. So, it's gone quite strong there as well. It's quite an interesting lineup when you look at these, especially the Burnley one, to have that young guy Costello starting from the off.
Yeah, but in both positions in the middle, you've got Charlie Taylor and was it Harwood Bellis?
Two centre backs, yeah.
And then you've got obviously Castellos and Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
There's an experienced player alongside the younger player.
Yeah.
And also, I find it very interesting that he's playing Charlie Taylor in the centre because he's normally a left back.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Obviously, Ian Matson's there and he's playing at left back today. Another one of the new signings as well. But of course, he came in from. Let's have a look here. He came in from. Where's my notes? I know I wrote it down here. There you go. He came in from, I think it was Chelsea on loan. So another one who's obviously got a little bit of experience being in and around Premiership team.
Yeah, I've seen Matson play for Coventry, especially in the first game of the season against us last year. And he's quick. He's very quick.
That'd be interesting to see, what he's like going forward and also defending as well. Then, also we've got what we've got. I think we've got seven subs. I think for both teams as well. We'll start off with Burnley. It's Egan Riley. Twine makes the bench as well, as does Peacock, Farrell, McNally, De Silva, which is Coutinho, and Phillips and Dodgson, who's a young player. And then as for Danny Schofield's side, it's Chapman, Andrew, Rhodes, Kasuma, Rodoni, Jackson, and Nakayama. So again, with the 5 subs as well, it could play a part here, and obviously it'd be interesting to see how much of a turnover that is in terms of players coming off the bench as well, and how much that's going to disrupt the game. It might be difficult for us as commentators with 10 subs potentially made.
Yeah, but I think the first one's obviously going to be difficult, but eventually it will just become the norm. I mean, we had it during the COVID season where they had the 5 subs coming on, so basically just getting back to that forever now, really, isn't it? Because I think it's a good thing to be able to rotate, have that option. It doesn't actually mean that they're going to make the 5 subs, though. It's
true.
It's there if they want to do it.
Yeah. They're just showing Silver Thomas in front of me as well. A real, good player for Huddersfield. Got 7 assists from set plays, I think it was last season. And he was ranked first in everything that he was involved in. So, he was obviously a big part of the team that got promoted up, got into the playoffs, I should say. And then obviously Ashley Barnes there for Burnley as well. He's won 2 promotions from this division already. And he's going to have a big season, isn't he? And he's got the experience, that's for sure.
Ashley Barnes will score goals in this division. He always does. It's one of those where I think it's going to be like a Mitrovic, I think.
That'd be interesting to see if that's the case. We are going to be getting underway in a minute. The 2 sides have just lined up now, and they are out and just about to get us underway. It's going to be Huddersfield to kick off, going from left to right here, and trying to see who it is that's over the ball at the moment. But the referee, by the way, is James Linnington. He's assisted by Sean Hudson and Paul Hodgkinson, and Matthew Donahue is on 4th official duty today. And we are underway now for the new season, as the ball is with Ruffles. He's just going to play it forward, and it's seen by Harwood Bellis back to the keeper, Muric there. He's going to take a touch and then try and clear it out to Roberts. And he's coming up against, that was Karoma that time. And Huddersfield had possession here early on. And it's now with that number 44, Castolo. Looks like he's going to try and make another run there. And it's headed behind by Leeds there for a throw early on to Burnley. Early stages, I know it's literally within the first minute, but what do you make to how these two teams sort of seem to be lining up at the moment in terms of formation, etc.?
I think it's classic Burnley formation of 4-4-2. Huddersfield, again, it's a classic what they played last season, and it's just been a bit kind of scrappy end to end. No teams really had to rotate the ball for more than 20 seconds.
And it's now with Taylor there, who's obviously, we mentioned, was playing at left centre back today. And he's going to play that one into Roberts there. I think Howard Bellis had it as well for a second. And now it's with Taylor again. We're going to knock it forward, and it's now with, is that Josh, is that Cullen? I'm not too sure there, I couldn't see, but Burnley knocking it out here to the right-hand side, trying to knock it forward towards Ashley Barnes, who's in an offside position there, and straight away he's picked out, and he liked the ball that was put over the top for him, But, to be fair, that one's clear as day that he's offside, I think.
I could already tell from the first minute and a bit of play that they're already playing more football under Company than they did under Sean Dyche.
Which is a big, bold statement. As Taylor clears that one, hooks it away, and it's up into the air, and it's back with Burnley now, and it's now with Costello, and he goes back to Cork, and then I think that's not back by Roberts to Muric there. And it's Burnley just in possession. Howard Bellis is going to try and clear it, and it's up into the air, and Huddersfield have it now over on the right-hand side. Was that? And it's a free kick there to Huddersfield. Just want to see who that was. It was Bastian, I think. Sorry, Matson, who made the foul there.
Yeah, I thought the first one would have been given as a foul in Burnley's favour, to be fair. But obviously, one's not a foul and one is. The refereeing standards of the Championship continues.
Nice to get underway nice and early with the refereeing decisions there that people might not like. But it's a free kick here for Huddersfield. Look like they've got a man just trying to play off the shoulder of Ashley Barnes there as well. I'm trying to see who it is, but whipped in here, and there's round the back post. Is he going to get to that one? That was, I think that was Lee's there. Is that another free kick there? In fact, it's gone the other way. I thought it was going to be a free kick there in favour of Huddersfield, but it actually went the opposite way. I want to see what's happened with that one, but I know Lee's there. Just couldn't get on the end of it. He kept the ball in, and he knocks it back. But actually, it wasn't even a free kick. It's gone behind for a throw. But I thought Huddersfield were a bit unlucky not to get another free kick there, really, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I didn't see it close enough to actually know either way. But the free kick that they actually did have, it was classic what they were doing last season, just trying to get it to the back stick. But again, they don't have the quality that they had over set pieces this season as they did last season.
No, that's right. They have lost some key players, as we said earlier. Burnley in position with Howard Bellis. He's given it away, though. And it's going to be put forward there by, I think that was Russell there trying to play it forward. And it's comfortable in the end for Muric. But a bit sloppy there from Burnley in the opening 5 minutes.
A bit naive from Howard Bellis playing the ball out. But again, it's understandable the first game of the season that passes go astray in the first 5 minutes, because again, it's the first actual chance of competitive football for points.
That's right. Now it's Nichols here for Huddersfield. I'm going to take this one and knock it forward. One in the air, though, that was Taylor, I think it was. And it's now Matson there, and it's up into the air and kind of a little bit bitty, really, in midfield. I think that's a foul on the Burnley man. Was that Costello who went down? Couldn't quite see it. Or maybe it was Cullen, actually. I'm not too sure. But there's a quick free kick that was wasted anyway, and now straight into the hands of the Huddersfield keeper. Obviously Nichols, and again, it seems a bit frantic. I just saw it there as well. Huddersfield gave the ball away there, and it seems like neither side can get a foothold in this game like early on.
They need to slow it down. They're doing the classic thing of they're not going to balance between quick counter attack and going that quick they can't control the ball.
That's true. There's a throw in here for Burnley now, though. It's going to be taken by Matson, I think. Or was he going to leave it? No, he did take it in the end. And it's all the way back to Howard Bellis, who's going to square it back to his keeper, Muric, though. Obviously, you mentioned Muric is somebody that you know from Nottingham Forest a little bit. Obviously, played there. What did you make of him as a player when he was at Forest, as a goalkeeper?
It was a bit of a shambles because, I mean, I don't want to speak too soon.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's a bit of a late one there, is that? Actually, it's quite a good challenge, I think, in the end. The referee's given there.
Apart from that ball that went loose, his distribution's been all right so far in the first 5 minutes. But
was that a
you
foul
just give
throw?
the
Was that the
ball
first
away.
foul throw of the season? It wasn't. It's now gone in favour of Burnley, who are now going to try and counter here, looking to get it to Costello, and it's backed by. That was to the keeper there. And backed by was it backed by Holmes? I'm not too sure, but tries to play it forward, looking for Karoma up against Matson or Matson. So he does well there and just hooks it clear and out of danger in the end. But that was an opportunity there for a minute. Looked like it was possibility for being the sort of first real chance of the game.
Very nerve-wracking when he played that ball back. But as I was saying on Muric, it was a bit weak with his saves and his distribution went out of play. I wasn't impressed, and that's why I replaced him with Bruce Samba.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was about 2-3 seasons ago, so it could be better than he was then. Now, I don't know.
There's a chance there for Huddersfield from Nichols there, gets it forward into midfield and looked like it was going to go. It's back to Taylor in the end. And Burnley just playing it around. Looks like Josh Cullen is trying to make things tick in midfield. You can see here that if you watch him, I'm just watching him closely for a minute there. He looks like the kind of playmaker that Vincent Kompany's gone for here. And it's a through ball. And is he onside? He is onside here as well. It's Ashley Barnes through on goal. That's a brilliant tackle, is it? Or is it going to be a foul? Ashley Barnes wants a foul. I thought it was a great tackle from Leeds in the first place. Let's see again. And also let's see whether he was onside. He was onside just about. There's a good knock on as well to Ashley Barnes there. And that was good defending. I don't think he can argue too much about that. I don't know. He's kind of from behind him a little bit. It's an interesting one.
That's a good tackle. That is a really good tackle. I mean, if you give penalties for them, then you're never going to be able to do a slide tackle in the box again, ever.
Nah, that's true. Like, I thought it was a good tackle at first, and then I've seen it, and it looks like he's gone in, but like from behind a little bit. But he has won the ball. So yeah, I think that's a good decision there from referee James Linnington. And it's about 10 minutes played. If you're listening and want to sync up with us as well on the commentary hubs, 9 minutes and 30 seconds if you want to do that. As we are bringing you Huddersfield against Burnley this evening.
Yeah, so I'm about 6 seconds behind.
Okay, that's fine. That's manageable. That's all right. I want to see there. When you see Ashley Barnes running through there, and he's about to pull the trigger, you have to get that one right, as Leeds did there. It was a very good tackle.
I don't want to see that anymore because every time I watch it, I think, can he hit it first time?
Yeah.
Which negates the slide then because you've already got the ball away. But
it's one of those ones where I'm sure you'll see it again over the weekend. Yeah. There's a chance here for
half time.
Oh, I'm sure they will. There's a chance here for Burnley. They look like they're going to try and build it down the left-hand side, which they have with Matson. What's he going to do here? He's got support. If he wants to go back, he's going to go back to Cullen, straight at keeper. Nichols there in the end. But again, Burnley are growing into this game a bit more now. I think they started a bit slow. But, now they're playing sort of some free-flowing and kind of confident football, especially down this left-hand side there, where Matson, had pretty much the freedom of Yorkshire at that moment in time.
Yeah, I wanted it pulling to the guy just at the edge of the box as he was running through, and he played even further back to pull it, I think it was.
Yeah.
I just think pull it to the edge of the box, could have pinged it top corner, but yeah, it's pretty poor attempts in the end.
And he's got it again as Matson now. It's good defending actually from Huddersfield. Just smashed it forward. And actually Burnley are just able to knock it back to, I think that was Howard Bellis, was it? And he's trying to play it forward now. And Burnley got it in midfield through, was that Cork? I think it was Cork there. It's This ball looks like it's just going to go out of play for a goal kick, which it does. You're listening to the Commentary Hub, of course, and JB Sports, Commentary Hub 2, Storm FM, and also on Twitch as well, for this alternative commentary of Huddersfield against Burnley with myself, Mike Heineman, and Luke Turton. Not the Turton that's playing for Huddersfield, who's obviously playing at right back. I think he's almost calling for the ball there as well, was Ollie Turton, but he didn't get it as Burnley have a throw there. 12 minutes played, and it's still 0-0. And what's the referee doing there? Has he given a free kick there? Yeah, he has. And it's taken quickly as well, and it's a bit of a strange one there for a minute. Wasn't sure what was going on for a second there, but what we know now is it's gone out of play for a Huddersfield throw-in. What did you make of that? Because I wasn't sure what was going on, and I wasn't sure the referee had actually pulled up for a free kick there. It took a minute to actually get to the final decision there.
I think while you were a bit confused, I was trying to look at what was going on, and
yeah,
I think there was a shoulder barge as the ball was in the air.
Oh,
okay. You go it as a free kick, but there's twice Burnley have got free kicks.
There's a chance here for Burnley. That's put through to Ashley Barnes by Cristolo, and it's straight at Nichols in the end. But again, Ashley Barnes is causing issues to the Huddersfield defence. And this time it was from down the right-hand side. And young Cristolo, I don't know much about this guy, but it looks like he's trying to play off the shoulder a little bit there. And he looks like, I think Vincent Kompany's seen him a bit in pre-season and been impressed because he's he looks kind of, I'll say he looks quite fearless really for this young kid here that's playing for Burnley now.
I agree. The quick free kicks just aren't working for them though.
Yeah,
they're wasting the quick free kicks, and Ashley Barnes was always going to go for goal there, but
of course,
again, there's a guy running. There's a guy running in, and you could have slid it across the box.
There's a chance for Huddersfield to go get it forward, but in fact, it's now with Burnley again. Want it back. Cullen's going to try and play Barnes in as he up against Lees. What can Barnes do? He knocks it back there. That's good. Bit of skill there from Ashley Barnes, but Huddersfield have it now. I think that's with I think that was Russell there, was it? And now out to Koroma. Josh Koroma here. It's good play there from Burnley to win it back. And just play it around here now. It's just the back line, the Howard Bellis and Taylor and Roberts, and now it's with Matson as well. So the whole the back line get a touch. Now it's with Bastian. Samuel Bastian, another new signing, of course, for Burnley, was brought in by Vincent Kompany from Standard Liège, and I don't know what you know about him, if you know an awful lot about him, but obviously, the people that we speak to, Burnley fans, JB and Paul, seem to be quite excited by that signing.
I know, literally, his name is Samuel Bastian, because you've literally just told me.
But no, I think JB and Paul seem to be. I think Paul in particular seems to be fairly excited about that one. Who's that? Roberts now on the right hand side. And again, that's good skill from Cristolo as well. He does look very fearless. It looks like he's enjoying the moment of being out there and being involved in the action tonight.
Sometimes you get that from youngsters though, where they just come in, they've got nothing to really prove to themselves, and they can just go out and just play.
He does look a threat for Burnley. He does. Here's Howard Bellis now across to Taylor, and it's going to be played to Matson there, and then back to Taylor again. Of course, Commentary Hub would like to thank our streaming partners, Melon, as well, who are kindly going to be with us again this season, as they were last season too. So big thank you to them. You can check them out at melonapp.com, I think it is, if I remember rightly. I should know their website by now, but I still don't. And of course, commentary services are going to be kindly going to be our man of the match or player of the match, I should say, sponsors again this season. Barry Swain's commentary services, of course. Excellent job that Barry always does with all the commentaries and getting people to get involved in the game, like he has with me, Luke, Russ, and many others as well that you'll hear on the channel throughout this coming season, or channels throughout this coming season, I should say. Here's Cork now, the captain of Burnley. It looks like just a bit. There you go. Bit of an opportunity there. It's good play. Fancy it's Ashley Barnes, is it? Yeah. Now knocked on. It's back with Huddersfield now, and it's just a bit of a head tennis there. Burnley have it. Ian Matson has it now. Trying to go down the left-hand side again. He's had joy in that position already once. Barnes gets it back to the Ashley Barnes. Shot goal, and it's in the back of the net. Here is the first goal of the EFL season, and it's scored by Ian Matson of Burnley. He has looked at danger throughout this game. Ian Matson has put the ball into the back of the net, and Vincent Kompany's reign at Burnley is off and running. And it was a great goal as well. He was involved just a minute ago. Ashley Barnes was there. I think then he kind of got himself into a good position and had a shot in the end. And it's a nice finish, actually, that just beats Nichols in the Huddersfield goal. And we've finally, after 18 minutes, got a goal to bring you out. And it was a nice finish as well. Ian Matson has given Burnley the lead in the opening game of the EFL season. The first EFL goal of the 2022-23 season goes to Ian Matson of Burnley. So he's going to have that one on his record throughout the rest of his career now. Burnley take the lead, 18 and a half minutes.
What I like about that goal is as soon as he passed it to Barnes, he carried on into the box and he allowed Barnes to play it back. And then there's a brilliant finish and it just goes into the back of the net like a firework.
I don't know what to say to that. I really don't know what to say to that. It was a nice goal though. But I don't know. Fireworks. You and fireworks when it comes to Huddersfield. That's what I'm going to say. Burnley got a chance here to knock it on now, and it's Costello again wins it. He's looking to find Brownhill, which he does as well. And it's now on to Costello again. Keeps possession here. Gives it to Roberts. Roberts is in space. Roberts might be two. Oh, that should have probably been two. It's a good save in the end from Nichols there. But again, it looked like Burnley were having freedom of Yorkshire there. And again, it was just really standoffish defending from Huddersfield. And really, that should be 2-0. They've gone one down about a minute ago. And, only Tom Nichols there. Not Tom Nichols, sorry. Lee Nichols there, I should say. Tom Nichols, obviously, is the guy who's played up front for Crawley. Stops that from being 2-0 straight away almost.
Yeah, the intensity just isn't there for Huddersfield. And I think they thought the guy would have been offside at the top of the field. But there was a guy down from Huddersfield playing him onside. So they went to sleep. I'm from watching this, I think they're really missing Sinani and O'Brien.
Of course, Sinani was another one that left. Yeah, of course. And Burnley are winning the midfield battle, that's for sure. They're winning everything at the moment as they're trying to find. That was the young lad Costello again. And that was Bastian trying to play him through that time. But again here, this one they've just got to replay the goal in front of me here. Ian Matson picks up the ball, carries it down the left-hand side, plays it into Ashley Barnes, who was that Josh Brownhill, was it, who leaves it? Sort of dummies it, and then Ian Matson there, the on-loan Chelsea man, just fires it past the Huddersfield keeper there and into the bottom corner. But yeah, that was a brilliant goal there, and Burnley on the balance of how the game's gone so far in the first part of this first half, I think deserve it as well.
Totally, absolutely deserve it. I mean, Huddersfield hadn't even had a shot on target yet in the first
No.
half.
There's a free kick there. Josh Cullen's gone down. And it's going to be taken in a second. 22 minutes played. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Vincent Company there just barking some instructions across to his Burnley team. It's now all the way back to Muric. It's closed down there. Was that Karoma now in possession? Goes down. Was that a free kick? It is as well.
See what I mean?
That's Muric.
Was
that his first mistake in the game?
Quite
a poor kicker anyway, straight to the Huddersfield man. But
that
was something that he needs to sort of improve on and quite rapidly, yeah.
That's the sort of stuff that he was doing at Forest, though. I don't think it's computed even now that you can't dally on the ball in the Championship in the box because you'll get closed down.
Yeah.
And then that happens. Then Huddersfield then get a free kick because your team's under pressure.
It's good defending from Burnley for the free kick, though, and looks like they're going to be able to get a chance to break here through. I think is that Bastion? Yes. No, it was. I'm not too sure. It was actually Matson. Sorry, I think he was just in a different position there for a moment. And free kick here. Costolo's just gone down there. Burnley have a free kick now again. An opportunity to get themselves that all-important second goal. Looks like they're going to try and send the defenders of Harvard Bellis and Taylor up as well from the back.
I've been impressed with Burnley so far.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed with Burnley so far. In 24 minutes or so as well. They have looked, as I said, they were quite slow going into the game after the first few minutes. But now, the more that the game's gone on, they have been the more likely to score, obviously have scored, and have been the more likely to add to it as well since. And there's a chance here, and it's taking a deflection, and it's just into the hands of Nichols. But that was Brownhill now, I think, with the effort, and he just smashes that one forward, Nichols, now towards... Is that Thomas, is it? He's going to just run out of steam there, and Ian Matson does well. The Burnley goal scorer. Just having a look here again at this other opportunity for Burnley there, when Josh Brownhill just kind of kicked it into the ground a little bit there, and didn't really get a clean connection on that one.
I think Castellos wanted to be able to get a touch on that. It wasn't able to happen.
Yeah, that's true. It was a bit unfortunate, really, there that he could only bounce that one into the ground. And Vincent Company there and Danny Schofield just getting some instructions across to their respective teams. It's quite obviously an interesting period on the opening day of the season to see where these two teams can potentially get to. Obviously, there's still, a couple of weeks left of the transfer window as well. So investment will still be quite strong. I'm sure Burnley will want to invest after losing lots of their players. And if they can get off to a positive result tonight and continue that on in the next few games as well, while the transfer window is still underway, they could maybe use that as a pull-in, as a way to help pull some more players in and more experienced players in to help them up to the Premier League again at the end of the season.
Yeah, I still think there'll be a couple of surprise moves at quite a lot of clubs for the end of the window.
That's quite an interesting shout. Obviously, Huddersfield have got to do quite a lot, really, in terms of bringing in replacements for some of their players. Obviously, two that you mentioned earlier, we touched on Lewis O'Brien and Harry Toffolo, both sort of been replaced, but not been replaced. They could still do with bringing in some players, to help out in covering for those guys who are, obviously no longer at the club.
I think it's more the fact of they need to find players that can do the jobs they were doing.
Yeah.
Because Toffolo was able to get around the back.
There's a chance here. That's a through ball towards Ashley Barnes from Brownhill. Costolo's in support if he wants to use him. He's going to go across to Roberts, though, who could have actually made it 2-0 just after the first goal had gone in. And now going to get it back as well with Roberts. And now it's with Jack Cork. he's actually decided to go back in the end to Howard-Bella. So, what were you saying there regarding that? I'll let you just carry on whilst it's kind of, the game's at nothing at the minute. Yeah.
South Flow's had to get around the back for goals on set pieces, and O'Brien used to take the set pieces a lot of the time.
Right.
And to be honest, and also O'Brien drove through the middle and carried the team forward. And I think at the minute, a lot of that is non-existent for Huddersfield. They are just jogging around trying to get the ball, but at the same time, there's no real fluid kind of movements or anything. It's all kind of on the back foot.
That wasn't very fluid there from Burnley either, actually. That was, I think it was it Matson? I'm not too sure. I tried to switch it across to Roberts on the opposite side, and ball's gone out of play for a Huddersfield throw. But, I think Burnley, we've had 28 minutes of this game so far. Burnley have definitely deserved their lead. And Huddersfield, have got to do an awful lot, really, I think, to get themselves back into this game. Yes, it's only 1-0, but it's only down to the goalkeeper that it is only the 1-0 at the moment, and a little bit of poor finishing from Burnley as well.
Huddersfield needs to have a shot on target.
Yeah. If they actually had a shot really in anger, I don't think they really have in this game so far. They've looked like they're trying to get down the wings a little bit and trying to play, play through a little bit in terms of play through Burnley, but they haven't really created an awful lot at all, if anything, in terms of chances at goal.
No, they're struggling to get through Burnley, and I think that's
There's a chance here on the edge of the box now, and it's going to go to Brownhill there, and now it's with that was Roberts, who's just won a corner. Opportunity for Burnley to get them defenders of Harbour-Bellis and Taylor up from the back again.
The concern I have with Huddersfield is it doesn't seem to be getting any better the longer they play.
No, it actually seems to be getting worse, if anything, yeah.
And you can pass straight through them as well. Burnley are able to pass round them, and then they just get the last block off, or the keeper makes a comfortable save, or Nichols has only really had to dive for the goal.
I think just that one, and then obviously the one that he saved. Yeah.
But the one he's saving is reaching up and catching.
No, the one he saved just after, which should have, when it should have been 2-0. I think it was. Within a minute afterwards. Yeah. It's a corner there. It's headed at the back post. But no, he's only had two things he's had to do, really. Pick the ball out of the back of the net and then make that one save just after. He hasn't really had loads to do other than that. Excuse me.
But a lot more than Murray.
Still enough at the moment, yeah. Here's Matson again. Had the most touches, actually, as Ian Matson in this game as well. He was 36 just a few minutes ago, which is now one or two more than that. Going to take this throw in as well. Obviously, he's the man that's given Burnley the lead as well. The goal scorer so far. As it's Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. If you're joining us late, if you're just coming in or anything like that. On the opening weekend of the EFL season. Of course, we've got some great coverage across the weekend for you as well, including the final of the Women's Euros coming up between England and Germany at the weekend on Sunday evening, as well as the Community Shield is going to be brought. I'm not sure if it's live or on delay as well. And we've also got Monday Night Football for you this weekend as well. I think we're bringing the game with JB on Monday, I believe. So still an action-packed weekend. We'll touch on England probably in a little bit as well, a little bit later on. But it's with Burnley now, and it's now that's Cork there out to that was Costello's just got the ball there, I should say now, and now Cullen, and now Roberts there back to Cullen via Cork again, and then he goes across to Roberts on the right hand side. Manu could have easily made it 2-0 just after Matson scored. There's a chance here for Burnley though, and it's going to be Costello. Is he going to get a cross in here? It's good skill there though. Burnley just playing it around in nice little triangles at the moment. Here's Brownhill. Matson can't get on the end of that one, and it's going to go out of play for a throw on there. And you can see a nice touch here from the Burnley fans applauding their team there. They're enjoying their evening out so far.
Yeah, decent play. I mean, I'm really enjoying watching the kind of pass and move from Burnley. It's kind of like what we've tried to do when we attack, and Huddersfield just don't seem to cope with it. Oh, here we go.
They have got a chance here now, though, and that's going to be whipped in, but straight comfortably into the gloves of Muric by Karoma that time. And that was comfortable goalkeeping there for the Burnley new shot stopper. Of course, Burnley, I just saw Craig Bellamy just a few moments ago as the assistant manager there under Vincent Kompany as well. Another one, with loads of experience in the game at playing and at coaching level. And I think he'll certainly help Vincent Kompany out in the season on the coaching side of things. There's a chance here for Karoma. He goes back to who was that there? That is, I think that was Edmonds, Green, and Lees, and then it's all the way back to the keeper Nichols now. Anyway. But yeah, I was just saying just a moment ago. I was saying about Craig Bellamy. Obviously, he's with Vincent Kompany on his coaching staff. Quite an interesting and I'd say quite a very good actually appointment as well for Burnley to have him involved.
A defence and attack kind of duo that works out perfectly. How can you tell that a team is struggling to create things? You play the ball back to the keeper when they're near their penalty area.
Absolutely, 100%. It was Costello there, just couldn't quite get on the end of that one. We've got about 10 minutes or so left of the first half. Huddersfield Town 0, Burnley 1. Ian Matson's goal, the difference. Of course, you're listening to the Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and on Twitch as well for this alternative commentary tonight. And we are going to hopefully bring you a lot of games throughout the season. I'm sure we will when the Premier League comes back next week. We'll try and bring you quite a few games from the Football League as well, though. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we've covered the Euros as well, and the Women's Euros. We've got the fun of that one coming up at the weekend. And I suppose you're going to be keeping a close eye on that one, Luke, aren't you, with England involved as well.
Do you know something, Mike? I've really struggled to follow football during the summer.
Okay.
I mean, I try to excel in one area, and then I've been trying to watch more kind of like the cricket and the Formula One, to be honest, because usually I try to retain that much information during the season that my brain starts to hurt.
I understand that. No, I totally get you. And I suppose in the off season, it's go on, yeah.
And then when you get 12 signings of your own come in during the summer, you're like, okay, where's your time to breathe? You're then getting links to about 20 million other players. So just trying to
I know all about that. Obviously, my team get underway tomorrow in League Two as well. We'll get into that in a minute, but there's been a lot of change in Hertfordshire where I am following Stevenage as well. The team that I follow, there's been so many ins and outs there, so I know all about that too well. And it's that's where it's an interesting time of the season. Obviously, pre-season and the games there are always nice to go down and see your pals and everything like that. And see a couple of teams come down. In fact, there's one of the managers of them now, Steve Bruce, manager of West Brom, who came down and were beaten by Stevenage. As I'm saying that, couldn't have got much better. In fact, in terms of time in there. Steve Bruce, obviously, one of the managers going to be managing in this league. Major in West Brom will obviously play tomorrow, and then Watford and Sheffield United as well, which we're going to bring with JB on Monday. But that couldn't have gone much better in terms of timing, could it, Luke? To be fair, I'm talking about the Championship, talking about pre-season, etc. And then Steve Bruce pops up, man that I met in pre-season.
And followed by Paul Heckingbottom, who wants to sitting there silently and not bleating about how unfair their semi-final was.
Yeah. It's a chance for Huddersfield now, though. Here's Karoma. What can he do? Is he going to get a shot at goal? He sort of does, but it's well blocked in the end. And Burnley are just able to win it back and now knocking it around on the floor. Yes, that is right. If you are listening, Burnley are playing football on the floor. And they're playing it quite well as well, actually, knocking it around nicely. I think that's an interesting thing. I think Burnley fans the last few seasons, I know JB said it, I know Paul said it as well, have been used to having, Burnley playing hoofball and, being a team that nobody likes and everything like that. But actually, in the opening 38 minutes, they play some good football on the floor. They're actually playing some really good football in the way that a lot of people want football to be played, which is, a little bit strange to say when it comes down to Burnley.
They've done the transition of Dykes to Company as we've done of Houghton to Cooper.
Yeah. But it's, and they're deserved leaders so far too in this game. There's a chance here to get it forward again.
Yeah. I didn't hesitate to answer. I was hesitating because I was watching Murich's distribution.
Again, that wasn't the best of distribution there, actually, was it? Yeah.
No, it was all right because he played it out to the player. But I just get nervous every time he gets the ball.
So is that something you think we'll see throughout the season? You think we'll see a few mistakes from him when it comes down to Burnley and conceding goals then, do you?
I want to say no because, in a sense, I'd like to think that during the season they can iron out if it does come up, iron it out a bit. But
yeah,
again, I've seen lots of goalkeepers go through 4 or 5 seasons where they just do exactly the same thing over and over again with no real improvement. So we'll see. I don't know how many Burnley games I'll get to watch, but so far he's not really being tested. But everything
no, he's not. He's not had a save to make. Okay. Yeah. It's quite. It's going to be different. I think Huddersfield will use Jordan Rhodes in this game at some point. If they can get the ball to him, then that'll be when Nurich is, and they might use Andrew in potentially as well, and people like that. That'll be when they've got more work to be doing. Here's Matson now. He finds that was Casolo, and he took a. I was saying how confident he was earlier. If he was confident enough to take another touch there, that would have been 2-0. And I think, that was great play by the goal scorer, Matson. Castolo does very well there. He stays on side, makes a brilliant run, and just kind of side foots it the wrong side of the goal. And, maybe, was he too composed there? Was he, snatching at the ball a little bit? I'm not too sure, but that's a gilt edge opportunity, as Vincent Kompany knows.
I think he had too much time to think about it.
That should have been 2-0 though. I think he knows that one, as does Vincent Kompany too. And Huddersfield have got an opportunity to breathe. That was a decent bit of play there from Muric, although Huddersfield have it back in midfield now, though.
It was rushed though. He smashed it out there. It wasn't as comfortable. Oh, I'll ping it over there. It was just let's hit it over there because I'm getting under pressure.
But I quite like them. I quite like them sort of not in terms of that, but I quite like the sort of side passes from the keeper like that. I kind of like them. It's a chance here for Castolo again. See if Burnley can get a second just before the break. They can't on that occasion though, as I think was that Roberts couldn't get on the end of it anyway, and it's gone behind for a Huddersfield goal kick. But again, so much space for Burnley in the middle of the park there. looks like every time that the likes of Cullen and Cork and Brownhill are in possession, and Burnley are moving through the midfield, there's no one anywhere near them from Huddersfield. It looks like they've got so much time and space on the ball to pick out whatever they want in terms of a ball or whoever they want in terms of runners. It looks very easy in terms of the midfield battle there that Burnley have won comfortably so far. And every time they get the ball, it just looks like there's no Huddersfield man around them.
I've just had to kind of look around and remind myself who's actually on the field for Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Because, in a sense, it's been that much Burnley related.
Well, Danny Ward's up front, and he hasn't had a sniff yet at all.
Well, it's Danny Ward, then there's Karoma, Thomas, and Holmes.
See, I've mentioned Karoma a couple of times. I think I mentioned Thomas like once, but in terms of Danny Ward, like he's not had an awful lot to do. I think he's just so isolated up front. He's got no support from Karoma and Thomas, etc. Like it's just so isolated, and Burnley are just able to keep him out of the game at the moment.
I'll tell you how much Danny Ward's in the game. I nearly asked you who's playing up front for Huddersfield.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been surprised if you had.
It's only because of the last minute I worked
it's Costello again. It's a good head there from Edmonds Green, I think that was, though. Turton's involved as well, just a minute ago. So that's the first time I mentioned him. That was a good header from Edmonds Green, though. Did well there. Up against Ashley Barnes. Looks like he got a whack to the ear as well, but defending nonetheless. Coming up to the last minute and a half of the 45 before we find out how much stoppage time we're going to have.
Do you know what surprises me about this game?
No, what's that? Go on.
You know how you're saying that Burnley get all that space in the middle of the park?
Again, I'm just looking here. They've had so much space there down the left-hand side as well. Bastion there. That was Ian Matson again in acres of space. Now over on the right-hand side, Costello's got acres of space here, and he's got another shot away as a weak shot. But again, they've had loads of space in the middle. But not just that. That left-hand side has been, Ian Matson's had the freedom of the left-hand side, and it looks like Costello's had pretty much the freedom of the right-hand side almost as well, in terms of, the opposite side.
You can't say that there's anybody different to last season that's in that midfield. You've got Hogg, Russell, Karoma, Holmes, and Sorba Thomas. They all played last season for Huddersfield. The only difference is they did not have Lewis O'Brien.
Yeah.
And
he makes them tick, or made them tick quite a lot. Then obviously, I didn't see loads of Huddersfield games or anything like that. But Lewis O'Brien, you could see that he made them tick.
We played them 4 times last season, and this reminds me of the 3rd game we played where they weren't in it. Oh, and the 4th game where they weren't in it until 65 minutes.
Right, okay. But it's a free kick here to Burnley. We've got 1 minute of additional time. At the 45 now. We're about 20 seconds into that minute as well. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1.
The Sky fixture for the Premier League for October have just come out.
Right, okay. We'll look at that later. But now it's last 30 seconds of this minute of additional time here. And Burnley got a set piece, a free kick in a dangerous position. See if they can get a second goal just to take it to the break rather than just a 1-goal lead. It whips in. It's over everyone and out of play for a goal kick. And that will probably be that for the half. It is that for the half as well, in fact. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Ian Matson's goal. The difference so far. What's your take on that first half, Luke? And would you be in agreement with me and sort of saying that's quite probably one of the more comfortable 1-0s that Burnley are going to have in terms of first halves or halves of football this season?
Easily. It started off very scrappy. Neither side could retain the ball. and Huddersfield have continued to struggle to retain the ball. I mean, I'm not sure how many times they went over the halfway line.
Yeah.
Burnley have looked good. They managed to do some nice bits, patterns of play. The
Hmm.
goal was brilliant from Ian Matson. And I just think Company gets the championship off that first half.
Yeah, he
I
does.
think he
He gets that
grasped
right.
it.
You have to give him a lot of credit and a lot of props for the
I,
lineup, for the way he's got the team playing, and the way he's got these new signings gelling so quickly as well. Yeah.
my big concern is one, whether they can keep up this intensity during this game specifically,
Yeah.
Burnley, or whether they have to rotate a bit and see how the players that come on do. But also, Huddersfield cannot play that bad again second half.
No, surely there's something, obviously Danny Schofield's got to do, whether it's changes from the bench or he's got to have a big team talk here. Yes, it's the opening day. Yes, it's not be all and end all or anything like that. But Huddersfield here, we've touched on the players they've lost. We've touched on everything like that. They look like they're in that first half a team that are suffering a massive playoff final hangover.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put that any better if I tried. They
Yeah,
look like they're suffering from change of manager,
yeah,
loss of players,
yeah.
losing the playoff final,
Hmm.
and it looks to me like the final whistle of the playoff final hasn't happened, and
Yeah.
they've just they've gone from where they were at 65 minutes, and they've just gone, well, we've gone out and done that again. They've not got the bite in midfield.
No, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
You've you've got
And
you've got
go on.
Jonathan Hogg in the middle of the park, who
Mhm.
for Harry Arter's first or second game for Forest, absolutely clattered him clean, and has he actually made a tackle?
I've not mentioned his name, I don't think, to be fair to you.
John Russell is a big guy, so why
Yeah.
is he not getting in there amongst Josh Cullen and Jack Cork?
Again,
There's
that's
no
another name that I don't believe I've really mentioned, or maybe I mentioned once, but that's how easy it's been for Burnley
Dwayne.
in midfield. Literally, Josh Cullen has had, so much freedom. Every time he's got the ball for Burnley, he's able to do what he wants with it. He can go forward, he can go back, he can go left, he can go right, and he's got no Huddersfield man anywhere near him.
The other one is, did Dwayne Holmes leave the dressing room?
I don't know. Did he? I haven't seen him.
Well, here's their issue then. You've not mentioned Hogg, you've hardly mentioned John Russell,
Exactly.
and we're not even sure whether Dwayne Holmes is on the field. That's
Yeah.
your midfield.
Yeah.
Well, there's part of your issue, and
Yeah.
then if Karoma and Sorba Thomas are having to do all the work for well, I say all the work, they're not really doing much either themselves, but
No.
if they're trying to pull the team forward slightly, the space is still going to be there because even the midfield's not covering the defence, it's just kind of being aimless.
That's right. And I think when it comes to Huddersfield, I think, I'm looking through the team here. I think, to be honest, I've not really mentioned loads and loads of their players, but the teams, the ones I've mentioned are Lee's at centre back, and obviously Nichols has made a couple of saves as well. So and Burnley, I think I've got through every single one of their players multiple times because that's how easy it's been for them. In every area, literally, I'm watching the goal again here now. Matson finds Barnes, who leaves it for Brownhill, and then Matson comes back in again. And literally, I don't think from when Matson got the ball to when Matson put the ball into the back of the net, no, there wasn't. There wasn't a single Huddersfield player that touched the ball there. And it didn't look like there was a single player that was going to get close to touching the ball there either for Huddersfield. That's how easy it was.
No, nobody particularly as that. What was that guy doing? Sorry, I mean, who was that? I think it's Edmonds
What
Green.
the centre back was it? Edmonds Green.
You know when Matson takes that shot, he
Yeah,
leans backwards. He
yeah.
doesn't throw himself in front of the ball to try and stop it. He
No.
leans back so it almost clears the space for the ball to travel.
See, I'm just watching this one here now from the 9th minute as well when Ashley Barnes goes down. Obviously, Lee's kind of kicks the ground a little bit. I'm not sure, what's being said on punditry duties and everything like that. But regarding that, I don't know, whether they're saying it's a penalty or not. But yeah, I think it would have been soft anyhow, personally.
I don't
Just
think
some of the other chances here as well. Of course, Costello there, and then there's this one from. So this is the chance where it should have been 2-0. From Roberts there, about a minute and a half after Burnley had taken the lead. This one here was another one that was just kind of hit into the ground, and Burnley building from the back here as well, winning the midfield battle again, and then playing it out again. Ian Matson's in acres of space on the left hand side once more, and then he tries to play that one across to Costello, who needed to take an extra touch and compose himself a little bit before taking the shot there. And as you said, Huddersfield haven't had a shot on target, and that's continued all the way through the half. And Burnley, if they can continue this, Huddersfield, as you said, can't be as bad as they have been in the first half in the second.
That stat is actually quite bad.
And one shot on goal, none on target.
No, touches in opposition box, Huddersfield 1.
Wow. See, that's why we haven't mentioned much of their attacking players, because they've only had one touch in the opposition box. What's Rush saying? If this was a Premier League game, then it would have been 0-0. Matson's goal would have been disallowed because Brownhill was in the eye line of the goalkeeper, apparently, according to Russ. I don't know. What's your take on that?
It's not a Premier League game, so that's irrelevant.
That's fair. I don't know. I don't see too much wrong with it, to be honest. I think it's just really good attacking play from Burnley. I think poor defending as well. I think it's a mixture of the two. And I don't know. I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think it's just poor. I don't see the relevance of that really. But I also think that I don't think there's anything wrong with the goal either, if I'm honest. Apart from obviously the defending from Huddersfield.
I don't think I took that much notice of where the Burnley players were. I'm more annoyed at how the Huddersfield players could have prevented that goal, regardless of if someone was in the goalkeeper's eye line. If your defender is leaning back off a shot, then to me, you deserve to concede the goal regardless of whether it should be disallowed or not.
No, I
because your
think you're right.
defenders are not throwing themselves in front of the ball and playing for the shirt. They're just tucking away from balls.
I think that's a true statement. Yeah. Just bear with me 1 second. I am still here, by the way. I'm just going to plug this in because my machine was just decided it wanted to die almost. So plug this in before the second half. But when you look at the options on the bench as well, what do you think Huddersfield can do? Do you think an Andrew can potentially change this game, or a Jordan Rhodes, or do you think it's kind of to the point where Burnley will just continue to see it out as they have done?
I need to get the subs up because for me,
Andrew Rose, Chapman, Kasuma, Rodoni, Jackson, and Nakayama are Huddersfield's bench.
I mean, yeah. I'm really struggling to work out where you're going to get your bite from in midfield because I mean, Andrew Ronin, I don't really know much about. Rhodes is a striker, but if you don't get the ball up to the box, he's going to do nothing.
Yeah, I think Angelonin is another
Kazu-
player I think he might be on loan from Chelsea as well. I think.
Kazumu again. Rodoni, is he a defender?
Yeah, signed from Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon. Yeah, yeah.
Jackson.
Youth player
Yeah.
that's come through from the
No.
youth team. Yeah.
I mean, the only one that I could possibly say might do anything is Nakayama, mainly due to the fact he's Japanese and they're usually good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what position is Nakayama. Is he an attacking player, or is he more of a defensive player? This is where my knowledge has to come into it now. Yeah, but yeah, potentially.
I don't have any idea, but I mean, I just get the impression that even with changes, it's not gonna improve the basics of if a player comes towards the box, you make a tackle, and you have to win your midfield battles, get
Yeah,
close to the team, and
yeah.
actually have more than one touch in the opponent's box.
No, that's fair. Yeah, absolutely, and more than one shot at goal, which doesn't even hit the target anyway. Yeah.
I mean, we can see it sat here, not even in the
Yeah,
stadium.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
I'm expecting drastic changes in the second half
Oh,
because
I
Danny
think
Schofield.
he's got to. He's got to go to his bench early. Yeah, 100%. You know, I just wouldn't be surprised if there was a double substitution or even a triple substitution at half time from him.
Yeah, but again, I don't see any glaringly obvious changes in that midfield three.
No.
That I mean, you're talking Jonathan Hogg and John Russell, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they can't in the second half come out and snap a few tackles in, then why are they still at the club? Because last season they were renowned for getting in the opposition's faces and making it difficult.
Yeah, I watched Huddersfield. You know, I said I didn't watch them a lot, but I watched them a couple of times. And the times that I did see them, I noticed that they were the kind of players that would always make a challenge. But now it's just so easy for this Burnley midfield. You know, Cork, Cullen, Bastion, Brownhill, you know, have literally had so much time and space on the ball. It's like that, you know, these guys, Russell and aren't playing because the way that they were last season and now, are they going through this still in a bit of pre-season mode? I don't know. Is it? I don't know what it is with them. They literally just look a shadow of themselves compared to how they were last season.
I still think they're on the pre-playoff final summer training
Training
camp
camp.
thing. I don't
Yeah,
think they've left there
yeah,
because they were absolutely brilliant against Luton, and then they went away to Spain, according to the Huddersfield fan, and then never really turned up in the final till 65th minute, and then they had a little bit of a go, but even that wasn't great. But I mean, I just don't get it. You've got to come out. You know that three behind Danny Ward. They've got
yeah.
to interchange. They've got to
Mm,
interchange. They've got to play some football across them, create a bit of movement, and pull the Burnley defence around. At the
yeah,
minute, it's way too
100%.
static. They need to wake up.
What's you know, I'll tell you something. What I just thought there. Obviously, Huddersfield have just come out and they're being put through their paces. Sorry, I should say it. Just before the start of the second half here, and there was about 5 or 6 players there. I was like, "What? They're making 5 subs in one go." Literally, I thought that literally that's what they were going to do because it wouldn't have surprised me if they had. But they are making a couple of subs by the looks of things here now.
Are they?
It looks like they're going to. Yeah, I thought there were 2 players there that were just in discussions with them, or were they players that might come on in a little while? Let's see. Maybe they're not going to actually make them as subs that they're going to be using now. Maybe that's in a little while. But no, it doesn't look like it. Okay, I think we're just going to be unchanged then throughout this start of the second half. Anyway,
usually the managers let the teams go and try and fix it for a bit first, don't they?
Yeah, that tends to be the way. The lineups I'm coming through again. So Nichols, Turton, Edmund Green, Lees, and Ruffles, and then we've got Hogg. The Burnley in position, by the way. Let's have a look here. We've got Thomas, Russell, Holmes, and Koroma as well for Huddersfield, and then Danny Ward up front. A chance here for Burnley now. We've got Muric, Roberts, Harwood Bellis, Taylor, Matson, the goal scorer, Cullen, Cork, and Costello, Brownhill, Bastion, and Ashley Barnes as well. Huddersfield there. Just thought I was going to try and make something happen for a second, but couldn't do anything there in the end. Vincent Company there, just getting some instructions across. I think that's was that Ruffles there, or was it Turton? Maybe, I'm not too sure. That so he's taken the throw. I suppose just in possession. In fact, it's Turton. I think he's just going to play it forward, and now Cullen there knocks it forward, and it goes out of play for what looks like it's going to be a Huddersfield throw there. Early on in the second half, still remains Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1, with Ian Matson's goal, the only goal of the game so far. Huddersfield just can't quite win that one again. It's now Brownhill, and now back to Muric there. Just about gets away with that clearance, and it's Barnes, is it? Chance here for Burnley to go. He's going to keep that one, is he? No, he doesn't quite keep it, and he goes out of play for a throw there. But again, a bit like the first half. Yeah, and then a few minutes have been a bit frantic again. Is that Mike Jackson? He's still involved at Burnley as well, then? Is he on the coaching staff, I think, by the looks of things there, under Vincent Company? So it's nice that he's kept a place, kept him involved.
Yeah, I generally think that there's something going on with each start of each half where both sides forget how to play.
Again, here's Turton with a throw for Huddersfield. Going to throw it down the line, is he? In fact, he's going to take a few extra steps. This is the norm these days, and now that's put forward by Edmund Green. There's a chance here for Huddersfield now with, I think that's Holmes, is it? Out it goes here. Is that Koroma? I'm not too sure. Or was it Thomas? No, it was Koroma that time. Just took a couple of extra touches there and couldn't quite get across it in the end. But that was good play there. I think that was, I'm sure that was Holmes involved there. And Koroma was just tried to take it round Roberts, and it went behind for a goal kick in the end. But something a little bit different from Huddersfield than what they were offering in the first half anyway.
Well, they've just come into the game a little bit. But
yeah,
the other thing that surprises me is Ollie Turton for Blackpool was bombing forward and creating things.
I know, he hasn't done. That was a bit of a hoof clearance or hoof kick forward, I should say. Trying to find, was that Thomas that time, I think, on that side? And it's a throw on for Huddersfield anyway.
But again, there's not a lot of creativity. It's all trying to press a mistake out. Burnley.
See what happens here. See what they've got here. Whether they've got a long throw from their man here now, which I think is Holmes, is it? It does look like a long throw actually, and going to get it back as well. And now it's going to be straight through to Muric there, but it does look like that was something he might have worked on in training with that long throw there. There's a potential way to hurt Burnley and cause him a little bit of danger. But here is the counter attack now, though, with Costello gets it back up against Ruffles there, who does well to see that one behind for a Burnley corner. Is that, or is it going to be a goal kick? Let's have a look. Does look like they're lining up for goal kick, is it, in the end? And now it is going to be a corner here to Burnley. In fact, there's an opportunity here. So a bit of pushing and shoving. I'm not too sure. But anyway, it looks like Howard Bellis and Taylor are up from the back. The two centre-backs. Ashley Barnes in the mix as well. And just, there's a bit of shoving between Costello and a couple of the Huddersfield men there. One of them being Ruffles. There's going to be a corner here for Burnley. Trying to add a second goal here. Whipped in. That's a good header away by Leeds, I think that was. Now that's back to keeper Muric, who's had to come out of his goal a little bit there and takes a touch, plays it out to Roberts, was it? No, here's Cullen anyway. Gets it back. Ian Matson, the goal scorer, wanted it and gets it as well. Now it's Howard Bellis. Gets it from Taylor. Howard Bellis brings it out into midfield and finds Ashley Barnes out and plays it out to the flank. He's going to try and get himself into support too. What can Burnley do here? Is there an opportunity for them to get that second goal? They do look comfortable still in possession anyway. As Taylor has possession and plays it back to his centre-back partner, Howard Bellis again. Just exchanging passes between the pair of them. And Taylor plays it out there to the Costello again. That was the young man Costello. And that's played forward by Cullen to that's Costello again. And now Roberts is involved as well. And Brownhill. It's going to be whipped in here. It's Huddersfield in possession. And he tries to play it here. Huddersfield have got a couple of men over. Roman's going to get to it as well. And he's looking to find Danny Ward. Danny Ward wants that one. Play to him. And Danny Ward couldn't get on the end of it. It's good defending in the end. And it's now Huddersfield competing more in the second half in terms of midfield. You know, you did it with the likes of Hogg and Russell. They had to compete in the second half and put in better performances than they did in the first, and they're starting to do that nice and early. The opening 6 or 7 minutes, and Danny Ward again was almost on the end of that one there as well. There for Huddersfield, he's not far away from getting on into that one there.
I mean, Hogg and Russell are getting balls, but they're not really making any tackles to get them. They're just intercepting loose balls.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, I know that's more than what they were doing in the first half, but when Burnley have the ball, they're still not really making a presence.
No, but they are. They're getting a bit more. Well, they're getting quite a bit more possession, I should say, in this half as well. They've got a set piece here now as well. They're getting everyone out from the back, and obviously Ward's in there as well. He's quite a tall guy. They've got a bit of height in there. They've got Leeds out from the back as well. It's whipped in. It's headed by, was that Danny Ward looking to find, was it Edmonds Green up from the back? But Burnley just comfortably able to defend it in the end. But it's better from Huddersfield anyway. You can see that Danny Skyfield has given him a strong talking to or kick up the backside at half time anyway to get him competing more.
Yeah, I agree. After this free kick, that I've seen a little bit more because now the
that was poor there. That was got poor goalkeeper now. Ashley Barnes nicks on the end of it. So poor there from Nichols. I wanted to see that again because that looked like Nichols. Danny there on the ball, just hit it against Ashley Barnes. Then it goes to that Brownhill, and then Cullen, and then Barnes again just couldn't get on the end of it. But again, there Huddersfield could have potentially been, their own masters of their own downfall, I should say, because that was very poor goalkeeping there. Nichols just almost caught out there, caught out in no man's land.
They seem very stressed.
Mm.
And we're having a change.
2 changes. It'll be a double change in a minute. Yeah, maybe it's opening day now for Huddersfield. You don't know what it may be. But we'll see what happens there. Here's Bastian now. Now Cork. Here's Roberts. He's going to get it back, Roberts, I think, as well, is he, from Brownhill? Now it's Costello there. Now here's Cullen. There's a chance here for Matson. Cullen got good defending in the end from Leeds there. I like Josh Cullen as well. I think Josh Cullen's had a really good game. I don't want to go too much into player of the match or whatever like this early on in the game, but I really like Josh Cullen. I think he's one of those players that he really seems to be making things tick over for Burnley at the moment.
Totally agree. I mean, I'm watching him and I'm just thinking, how has a Premier League team not signed him?
Yeah. Looks like double change has been made for Huddersfield. I'll just see who that is in a moment. I think Angelin and Rodoni coming on for Karoma and Holmes.
Well, that's no real surprise, is it, really? We need to get a bit more. He's a big guy, that Angelin.
He is, isn't he? Yeah. Angelin, yeah. He does look tall and well built. Here he is now as well. He's going to Angelin. Has he won a free kick? He has as well. There, that was straight away. He's into the action, and now he's having a bit of a fight almost with Cullen as well, trying to show a bit of physicality there, which I think is something that Huddersfield have lacked throughout this game. It's been too easy for Burnley.
Do you know what? He's come on in the first minute, has basically done what the other three weren't doing. He's got the ball and he's ran at them.
And we've got the first booking as well, the first yellow card for the new season. Going to go to a Burnley man as well for that challenge. Cullen gets his name taken there in the book, the Irish national. And see what happens here for Huddersfield. They're able to get themselves that equaliser. It's whipped in and it's straight. Well, I was going to say it was comfortable for Muric there, but it wasn't. He looks like he clattered his own player. He actually kind of couldn't control the ball properly there. He kind of slipped through his gloves a little bit, and I think was it Muric that clattered his own defender there? Let's have a look. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he clattered the defender Taylor there as well, all the way through trying to clear the ball. Yeah.
The more and more I watch this game, the more and more of Muric I'm seeing of the old Muric.
Right, is that something that he used to do as well? He used to go through and attack your own player, didn't he?
Not claim the ball.
Yeah.
Be very nervy under pressure, which in a sense turns over possession.
There's a chance here for Huddersfield now, though. It's going to be. In fact, it's good defending by Cullen in the end. Now was that Rodoni again? I'm not too sure, but Huddersfield are looking better anyway, looking brighter in the second half. It's whipped in. Good defending there by Harbour Burns, and Huddersfield are really looking better in the second half. They're really trying to take the game to Burnley now. Although they have just given the ball away there in midfield again, but. Saying about Muric there, we'll touch on him in a minute. But here's Matson, the goal scorer again. I'm going to slow it down. So go back to Cullen and then Bastian and now Taylor. But as for what you were saying there regarding Muric and regarding Burnley's defence, they're under the cosh a little bit now in the under 15 minutes. They've got more defensive work to be doing.
I think Huddersfield have just pushed up a bit more. They've added in Angelin and Rodoni, and I think that's just making them a bit more of a presence, which
is
kind of
here for Huddersfield again. They seem to be getting a bit of freedom themselves going forward. Now that's a good tackle as well. Actually, I think that was that Andrew, and he just nicked the ball there as well. Huddersfield just playing it. In fact, it's a free kick, is it? No, referee says it's Burnley's got possession. Here's Matson, the goal scorer again. What can Burnley do here? They're trying to get it forward. They're going to go back to Cullen though. And Bastion's involved as well. It's quite interesting. Of course, Burnley, we said at the start of the programme, made lots and lots of changes, a lot of them being midfielders that left. Dwight McNeil, obviously being the latest line of midfielders to leave after the likes of Aaron Lennon left as well, and Dale Stevens, obviously a midfielder, defender midfielder. And Maxwell Cornet, who's obviously an attacker, forward midfielder as well. But they have looked very dangerous actually in midfield, and Maxwell Cornet. A lot of Burnley fans, are going to want to keep him and keep him involved with the club. Obviously, he's only got a fee of I think about 17 and a half in terms of minimum fee release clause as well, which everyone seems to think will be met quite comfortably and quite easily. But they're not missing him, are they? They're not missing Maxwell Cornet at all.
No, and that's because of their recruitment. They are aware of what they're doing, and in a sense, you get 17.5 million, you then invest it in the squad elsewhere and met this already fairly decent team even better.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's a chance there. Silver Thomas has just won a free kick here for Huddersfield. And they got 21 goals last season from set pieces, which was the most in the league, even more than Fulham, who of course had Mitrovic up front. But we'll see what happens here from this one. If they can add their first of this season onto it, which they can't. There's a man down in the box for Huddersfield, though. Just want to see that. Deep goes down there. I want to see if there was a shove on him. But Thomas takes the free kick and see there's nothing in that at all. I don't see. Let's have a look again. Nah, not for me.
I'm a bit behind, so give me a second.
Potential penalty for Huddersfield, but not for me. I think it's not really anything in it at all.
Yeah. They're just running and gravity just takes them down. I mean, if you're already falling, then gravity will just make you land on the ground. That's just kind of how it works. That's just physics.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Here's Cullen now. Goes it out to Roberts, and Brownhill was there. Couldn't get on the end of that one though. It's got behind for a throw in to Huddersfield. Sorry, kids, if you are listening to us and you don't want to be reminded of school, being on your school holidays. Luke had to give you a little slight lesson in physics there. But
that was purely for the Huddersfield fans that would think that I was telling them that he was diving, and I had to clarify something about physics.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about science, Burnley have certainly had the more chemistry between the new signings anyway. Between the players that they brought in and the players that Huddersfield have brought in, it seems like there's certainly more chemistry between the players that Vincent Kompany's brought in, and they just won a free kick there as well. But of course, sort of look like they've come together and meshed together really well. Actually, this Burnley team.
Do you know what I've noticed in this second half? Since Andrenin's come on, Russell's gone a bit further forward.
They're pushing him on, yeah.
So they've got Hogg, and then the next two are in front of Hogg, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it seems to be working for him more, yeah.
And they keep making snap tackles on Andrenin because they've worked out that if he gets space, he's just going to run at him with it.
Yeah, and it's the same with Rodoni as well. The one obviously he came on, didn't he? And first involvement, he won a free kick straight away. So yeah.
Because that Andrenin just reminds me of a midfield.
There's something here. I think Taylor's a bit unhappy here that the ball's just been smacked against him by one of the Huddersfield players. There was a foul originally. and Taylor's not happy there. The ball was just smacked in his direction, and I think he's kind of trying to claim that it was whacked against him. Let's see who it was involved for Huddersfield. It might have been Danny Ward, I think it was, in fact, and he just shoved him over and then shoved him again. And then somebody, I'm not sure if it was Danny Ward or somebody else, got the ball and just smashed it in his direction, smashed it against his, smashed it against him while he was already on the floor there.
Now, Ward makes the foul. I think it was maybe Thomas.
Potentially, that smashes the ball against his. And is he going to get a book in here as well? Let's have a look. Well, someone's got a book in here anyway. It's actually, I think Taylor's got a book in himself for his complaints. Let's have a look. Yeah, Charlie Taylor's got a book in himself for his complaints there. I think he went and remonstrated with the assistant referee after the referee had already spoken to him, which has got him his first yellow card of the season. Yeah.
Some players really need to know when to shut up.
Absolutely, 100%. Here's Thomas now. Now it's with, who's that for Huddersfield? I can't quite see there. We get a corner anyway. Where's a penalty actually? In fact, for a potential handball there. Was that Ruffles? I'm not sure, but anyway, it looked like I want to see whether there was a hand there at all. In fact, it wasn't Ruffles. It was the substitute Rodoni. And he's got a corner anyway out of it.
Arms by the Burnley guy's side there. That's not a penalty to Huddersfield, I'm afraid.
Nah, I think you're right. It's good header out by Matson there. His goal is still the difference. 67 minutes played. If you're listening to us, you're listening to the Commentary Hub, of course. Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and the Twitch channel as well of the Commentary Hub for this alternative commentary of Huddersfield against Burnley, the opening weekend, the opening game of the new EFL season, 2022-23, with the season getting us, with these two teams are getting us underway for the season. And then, of course, we've got some great action over the weekend as well, as I said earlier, which sees the Community Shield being brought, also the Lionesses game against Germany being brought to you as well, and also the Monday Night Football being brought by JB2. So lots of action over the next few days to be bringing. And then obviously next week, the return of the Premier League as well. I think we've got JB, if I remember rightly, he's bringing us a game between Crystal Palace and Arsenal this time next week on the Friday evening as we kick off the Premier League.
Oh,
what's that?
Burnley are going to bring on Scott Twine. I'm interested.
Yes, of course. Had a good record actually, Scott Twine at MK Dons as well. He had a really good record there the last couple of seasons. And it's going to be interesting. Obviously, he's only a young man, only in his 20s. And, you know, he's got a lot about him. He's got a lot of talent, and he really is a natural born finisher. Here's Brownhill's going to have a shot at goal, and it's clear of Nichols' goal there and over the top. But it looks like that's going to be Bastian's last bit of game time as Twine's going to enter the fray to replace him. But yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say, mate?
I'm about 30 seconds behind you now. I seem to have lost a bit of time during half time.
Oh wow, that is a bit of a bit longer, yeah.
But because you're saying it, and then I'm waiting for it to happen. That's why my comments are a bit delayed.
It's all right. We're ironing things out. So the opening game of the season, I'm sure it'll get more in sync the more we do, the more it goes along. And Juric got himself a book in there as well. I'm not sure what that was for, but he got booked there. Did the Burnley keeper in the midst of all that? There's a header in by Edmonds Green there. Now Burnley have it back. It's going to be put forward to Ashley Barnes, I think by Twine might have been. Bastian came off obviously to be replaced by Twine. And it's now Huddersfield in possession through Ruffles there. Behind for a Terrier's throw. And 20 minutes still to play. And it's still that Ian Matson only goal of the game that's the difference. And we'll get to player of the match in about 15 or so minutes as well, obviously, for the first one of the season. There's quite a few interesting candidates and shouts as well, I think, who've had good games. And obviously, as co-commentator, you get the casting vote, the decision on that one. So you can have start to have a little think on potential candidates as well. What's that?
This is wonderful.
Oh, okay. That was Turton there. He's just won the throw for Huddersfield. And it's going to be taken anytime now. He's going to get it back, as he knows, doesn't he? He goes forward as Hobner. And Danny Ward finds Maldini. Down. What's happened there is whipped in by the left back. It was Ruffles, and now it's gone behind for a throw in. It looks like it's going to be another sub here now. I think Russell is going to be exiting. And the number 18, Kasumo, is going to be coming on to replace him. David Kasumo, the Nigerian. Replacing John Russell, of course, as I just said. 19 minutes to go. Of course, there's still two subs that can be made.
That's very interesting. He's rotating more of his midfield.
He's changed 3 midfielders so far. The 4 that were 5 that started, which is a strange one. Obviously, it shows that he wasn't happy with the midfielders' performances. Yeah.
Kind of what we said, though, really, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, that's true. There's a chance here for Burnley now. It's Scott Twine. He's going to get it back, as he knows. It's Barnes. And hook clear by Lees. There's a man down for Huddersfield as well. And just to see who it was. Was it Thomas or is it? Let's see what it is. It was. No, in fact, it was the number 23, Edmonds Green. That's the man was. It was down there, I should say.
Yeah.
You managed to get it back in sync a bit now. Here's a chance for Huddersfield. And that was the substitute, Angelin. He's involved in a shot goal, and it's over the top there from the Huddersfield man. Was that Danny Ward? Or was that? Let's see who that was. That had the effort in the end. Might have been Danny Ward. Let's see. He's playing off the shoulder there. There's Ruffles to Angelin, and then in fact, was it a little bit of poor clearance in the end from Burnley. It was, I think, Danny Ward got the final shot on goal, and it was not troubling the keeper there.
Definitely Danny Ward.
Got Costello coming off now for Burnley, and he's going to be replaced by the new signing, Vitinho da Silva. Only brought in, of course, yesterday. Just signed in time, obviously, to play this game. A few Burnley fans there with Brazilian flags as well, because Vitinho's of Brazilian persuasion. He's entering the fray for the final 16 minutes or so. Ian Matson's going to take this throw in now, which Burnley have won. Here is Taylor. And now back by Cullen to Muric again. And now it's with Taylor there. It looks like Burnley have changed their formation slightly as well. I don't know what you make of it, but it looks like they've now gone where Harwood Burnley is sort of a central, but it looks like they've gone 3 at the back with Charlie Taylor sort of more than left. Like he's kind of seems to be playing more of a left back position now. It looks like Harwood Burnley is pretty much playing centre back almost on his own.
It's the flat kind of free at the back when kind of around that area with Jack Cork dropping into the middle.
I think that's right. Burnley have won a corner here. Actually, Barnes tried to pick out an on-running teammate and won a corner there. Got 15 minutes left, by the way. Still remaining Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1. Ian Matson's goal still the difference.
No, I'm sat that far away from the TV that I can barely see the heads. So if it goes close up, I can see it on the camera.
Yeah,
but
Brownhill's going to take the corner. He's got Cork in the box amongst others. Brownhill whips it in. It's one in the air by that was Leeds there. Now that's whips in again. It's a header of goal by Howard Bellis and claiming some of it, but it's gone into the hands of Nichols anyway, who comes out and claims it comfortably. And Huddersfield can try and break, but they lose out. Here's Twine now. Now here is Howard Bellis. Gets it from Cullen as well, and then Taylor tries to switch it across, and it goes behind off of a Huddersfield head for a Burnley throw on. Let's have a look at this opportunity again here. Howard Bellis was trying to claim that one over the line, was he? Trying to claim it was carried over the line by the keeper Nichols, but the whole ball wasn't over the line anyway. Looked like he was trying to claim that the ball was had crossed the line now, which would have been an interesting, which was quite interesting.
Not over the line.
It wasn't. No, it definitely wasn't. Keeper just has to be alert though.
The giveaway is that you can see at least 3/4 of the ball, the right side of the post.
There's a shot here by Matson, and it's no danger to Nichols' goal there. But yeah, that was definitely not over the line yet. I think the referee James Dennington, I think he's actually done very well. I think he's got all but maybe one decision right. To be fair, I think he's had a good game actually, really, so far anyway.
Yes, he's definitely a better handle of this game than he did Forest Luton.
Oh, did he take that game, did he, as well? Okay.
He was the one that gave the penalty against Colback when it handballed against both of them. Then again, we won't go into that.
That's fair. All right. Here is Murich to Taylor now. Now Matson, now Taylor again. Gets it back from Cullen and back to keeper Murich again, who clears it. And one, in fact, is a foul there. Ashley Barnes just shoved in the back and wins a free kick. It's a good play from Ashley Barnes there, using his experience to win that free kick there. 12 minutes to go, plus additional time. Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1 on the Commentary Hub 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and the Twitch. For this alternative commentary. With myself, Mike Heineman, and Luke Turton alongside me, who's going to be keeping an eye on Huddersfield throughout the season, no doubt, with the fact he's not in the Forest side, where the team that beat them last season in the playoffs. And of course, Forest kick off their Premier League campaign back in the big time again next week. And it's a throw in here. Is that going to be kept in by Barnes? He wins a throw there. That's actually a good play from Ashley Barnes. He wins a throw there off of Ruffles. And again, uses the experience and uses his know-how there to help Burnley out in a difficult situation and wins a throw in. And now he can get forward into the box again. I wonder what's going to happen here for Burnley. Are they going to try a long throw? Or is it going to be... does look like a long throw, in fact. It's cleared out in the end by the Huddersfield man towards Danny Ward. Matson now Twine involved. Matson's again got lots of space down that left-hand side, keeps it into and tries a bit of skill there. It comes off as well. Well, kind of a little bit fortunately, and it's a shot at goal. Again, potential handball there. So the referee going to give there nothing in that one. Again, he's sticking to his guns there. Here's Josh Cullen again now for Burnley. Gets it back from Matson, and now Twine. Plays it out to. That was the number 22 there, which was Coutinho, who came on, obviously. Burnley have got another set piece there now. 10 minutes to play. But yeah, what have you made of this game so far, Luke? Obviously, we've still got 10 minutes to go, and it's been more competitive in the second half from Huddersfield, and not as easy or straightforward for Burnley. Although I still don't remember Muric having to make a save of note, but Huddersfield have looked better in this half, haven't they?
I think Huddersfield is still going to struggle if they play like this. So I think it's been a pretty scrappy game, and in places, I mean, Burnley have had some decent play.
Yeah,
Matson has looked brilliant.
he's looked very good.
To be honest, I need to see more of both sides across a range of games to know exactly what to expect. But Burnley have definitely got the edge in this one.
Coutinho's just won a free kick as well. Again, he's involved there. Just twice in the matter of about a minute or two there that Coutinho has caused a few issues to the Huddersfield defence and won a free kick that time out. Getting Howard Bellis and Taylor up from the back again. Actually, Barnes on the edge as well. And Taylor just going in behind Turton there, and the Huddersfield back line was whipped in. It's cleared out at the end. It's a shot goal. That's a good block, is it? And let's see what's going to happen here from the second attempt. It's foot across. Great defending. I think was that Leeds again? Ashley Barnes almost got on the end of it. Was it Brownhill that put it in? I couldn't quite see. But Ashley Barnes has got an issue here now. He stayed down there.
It was definitely Brownhill that put the ball across.
Yeah, and Ashley Barnes has just got back gingerly to his feet again.
You may have took a knock
by Brownhill, was it? And now whipped in, one in the air by Leeds again. And the chance here for Burnley now. Now it's Coutinho knocks it across to. Hunter's going to get a header in. No, it's now going to be Taylor. Take a deflection off the Huddersfield man and then cleared by Andrin. Now play for a throw there. Huddersfield defending again. Looks like Burnley are getting. Is that another sub ready, or these are two players that came off? I think one of them was a player that came off anyhow. But they are getting another player to come on. I think is that Huddersfield bringing on Jordan Rose, I think there. And I think they're bringing on another sub alongside him too, by the looks of things.
The one of the ones was Costello that was in the Burnley dugout there.
Okay, there's a free kick here for Casimo. Just fouled his man. Free kick here in a dangerous position for Burnley, and it's a yellow card for Casimo as well. And it's about 25 yards out here for an opportunity for Burnley to have in fact, it's not even 25 yards, just on the edge of the D, in fact. And Burnley are going to have an opportunity here to test Nichols again.
It's a yellow card. I don't know what you're moaning about. It's definitely a yellow card.
It's very late, and you can't argue with that one. I don't think really. I think when he watches it back, he'll know that's a yellow card. But players tend to love to argue anyway, even if they are wrong. There's a free kick. Is this Scott Twine to it? Looks like it is. Ian Matson, I think, is over it as well. Got one goal to his name in this one already. Scott Twine, obviously, as I said, had a good goal scoring record at MK Dons. Obviously, he's now got the move up to Division 2. What's going to happen here? Looks like Ian Matson. Does he fancy this one? In fact, Scott Twine does, and it's hit the post. How unlucky was that? Scott Twine there just calmly takes that effort, and it just comes back off the wrong side of the post. And that's a decent effort there from the Burnley number 11, but they just couldn't get it to curl around, and it ends up going the wrong side of the post.
He's doing them keep taking them free kicks. He'll score a fair few in the Championship taking them like that.
Yeah, it looked like he actually went behind for a corner for a throw, sorry, as well. So I wonder if it was actually Nichols that got a hand to it potentially to push it to the post as well. Which, if he did, was a very, very good save. It's a shove down again, and that was another free kick for Burnley. A bit of pushing and shoving too. 5 minutes to go, and I'm just going to bring on Jordan Rhodes, Huddersfield now. And also, I think, is that Nakayama as well? For the final closing stages. Here's Hubbard Bellis now. Now Taylor. And now Twine to Matson. And that's with Cullen now. Matson again. It's good defending actually from... is that Kasumu? Just want to see. Doesn't look very happy there. Looks like he's not happy with something. Maybe he's got an injury or something now. So I still want to make these two changes, but they might have to change who's coming off here, I think, potentially. Jordan Rhodes is... yeah, potentially Kasumu. He's not been on the field for long, but it looks like he's... done himself some damage there and might actually have to make way before he's actually had a chance to really have an impact on the game, which is a shame for him. Obviously coming into the Huddersfield team, and he looks like he might be having to make way. He might be getting to the point where a sub comes on to replace the sub.
I think he got injured making that stupid tackle.
Yeah, on the edge of the box, I think he did. But and then also that one there when he tried to clear it there too, kind of just felt it again. Yeah.
Which was, yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
All he had to do was make sure he was along, trying to get round the side. He didn't need to dive in on the player.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's just going to add a little bit more added time onto the game, so we'll see what happens there, shall we?
Absolutely. And whilst we're waiting for these two subs to be made and to find out what's happening with the Huddersfield man Kasumu there as well, and then we're seeing a replay here of the goal again. It's come to that time where I'm going to ask you for your player of the match as well, and who you're going to give your vote to in that.
Well, it's been a hard decision because I was trying to decide between two, and I think I'm going to go for Ian Matson. In fact, I love left-sided players that can attack, score goals, and create as much as he's created. It was difficult between him and Josh Cullen, but again, Ian Matson it is for me.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. Obviously, his goal was a very well taken finish. He, was causing issues down that left-hand side multiple times. So yeah, I can certainly see where you came from with that. As it looks like Kasumu is one of the men to make way. So he came on to replace Russell, and now he's going to be replaced himself by is it Nakayama coming on for him? It is. Or is it Rhodes? It might be Rhodes actually. And then also Edmonds Green came off as well. So they are going a bit more attacking now. Taking off a defender and bringing on Jordan Rhodes for the support to Danny Ward up front in the last minute of normal time plus additional time. Although they've got to create more than two shots on target anyway, and have a shot on target if they want to get themselves anything from this game. Ian Matson there. The chance here. There's Brown here. What can he do? Is there any chance he can keep it? In fact, he just recycles it back to Robert Sir, I should say. And now here's Fatina. And Burnley just playing keep ball. Here's Cork. And what can Burnley do there? Jordan Rhodes, can he get on the end of it? He goes down. Referee says no free kick. Vincent Company just getting some instructions across in terms of the system and how he wants Burnley to play and how he wants to see out this game. And I think the fact Vincent Kompany's a defender, or was a defender in his playing days, he'd love to be out there trying to defend this as well, wouldn't he? Now, Burnley in this position, defenders love to defend. Ian Matson smashes that one straight at the keeper, but I think Vincent Kompany would love to be out on the pitch now for these remaining 5 minutes of additional time, heading everything and clearing everything away.
Absolutely. I think Vincent Kompany has just as much energy as a manager as he did as a player.
I think he does. Yeah, absolutely. And if he can learn, as quickly as he did in the playing side of things, management side as well, and use the likes of these Manchester City boys he's brought in, Burnley will have a good season. He's brought in a lot of talented players, as I said earlier. If you've listened to the stream that we did the other night, I think it was last night, you obviously had Burnley doing well and getting themselves straight back up again. Having watched them tonight, I can certainly see where you're coming from. They're very well organised. They look difficult to break down, and they look very creative going forward as well. And they've got a lot of players who can make things tick. Yes, it's a long slog and a long haul, but it's a positive start if things remain that way for Burnley. We've still got about 3 and a bit minutes to go, but they can see this one out and get themselves an opening day 3 points. It's certainly going to hold them in good stead.
Absolutely. I honestly think that Burnley have backed up my points from last night.
Yeah, there's a chance here for Huddersfield though from this free kick. Let's see whether they can get an attempt at goal. It'll be their first after 92 minutes as well, if that's the case. It's going to be whipped in by one of the subs. In fact, it's really poor as well, and so easy for Burnley again. Just literally, I think it's caught there, just smashes it down to the other end of the pitch, and everyone's just flocked down there to try and put the pressure back on Huddersfield again. They've got it forward though, and there's a free kick there. In fact, no, there's a Burnley man down. I don't think it's Roberts who went down. I thought it was going to be a free kick there, but looks like Andrew just about got away with that one. He's got a throw instead of actually giving away a free kick there, looks like. As Roberts is still being helped to his feet.
Yeah, because Roberts basically just jumps into Anjonin.
Yeah.
And Anjonin just kind of stood there. I mean, there's no foul in that.
It's a long throw here, and it's a chance here again for a chance here for Huddersfield, but it's Brownhill nicks there ahead of his man and then goes down, and that's brilliant from Josh Brownhill. It's exactly what you want. When you're defending, you want your midfielder back there, and just winning the ball down on the edge of the box, and then just going down and eating up a few seconds, valuable seconds for Burnley.
Absolutely.
About a minute and a half, 90 seconds left to go of the additional time. Vincent Kompany and Burnley on course to get an opening day win at Huddersfield, and the opening game of the EFL season. It's going to be taken here this by Muric now. This one by Lees, and then Huddersfield knock it forward, looking to find. That was Andrew, was it? I'm not too sure, but anyway, cleared by Burnley, and one in the air by who was that? I can see. Might have been Turton, I'm not too sure, but anyway, it's gone behind for a Burnley corner anyway, and with about 40 seconds, I think Vincent Kompany's message would be somebody go and stand next to Ashley Barnes or whoever's taking. Josh Brownhill. He'll be taking the corner. Pass the ball to them, and then you've got 30 seconds. Just keep it there in the corner, and looks like that's what they're going to be doing as well.
Absolutely.
See that one out. Ian Matson's got the ball now. He's just going to hold it there in the corner, and it looks like Muldooney's going to try and do something with it. Wins a throw, does he? he does, but it's in the wrong end of the pitch for Huddersfield. They've got 8 seconds, 5 seconds now to get the ball moving forward and try and get themselves an opportunity now, one final chance. But the ball's certainly in the wrong end of the pitch, and we're now over the 5 minutes as well. As James Dennington's not looked at his watch yet. In fact, he has now. He's going to give that as a throw, though. He's going to get the Huddersfield players to move backwards and not eat up a few extra yards. And it's now with Leaders up there from the back as well. And they get that one clear. And that is the final whistle. Vincent Kompany and Burnley have hung on in the end for that 1-0 victory. A comfortable performance in the first half. Huddersfield a bit better in the second. Had a few moments in the game without really having to test the keeper, Muric loads or anything like that. Burnley, opened the 2022-2023 season with a victory against Huddersfield Town, beaten playoff finalist Huddersfield Town. Burnley, obviously relegated last season from the Premier League alongside Norwich and Watford, and get up and running nice and early. With that Ian Matson goal, the difference in this game, Vincent Kompany on his first managerial sort of debut for Burnley as well gets a one over Danny Schofield on his debut for Huddersfield, and it's Burnley that progress to game week 2 with a opening day win to their name.
You have to say, Burnley played some brilliant football tonight and they defended really well. Norwich had some shaky moments, but again, had hardly anything to do.
Yeah.
But if Huddersfield approach the rest of the season like they approached this game, then they're not going to have any points at the end of the season.
And of course, I don't want to spoil it too much in case people want to go back and want to check out the predictions and stuff. But I'm sure Russ and yourself have both got Huddersfield to struggle in those predictions, and from this performance tonight, you can certainly see why.
Yeah, but I wasn't predicting it to go exactly like that.
No,
I mean,
okay.
I thought they'd struggle, but to only have one touch in the opposition box by half time, that gives them a hell of a lot to do. And I think my final kind of comment is Burnley go out with a bang for Huddersfield on that one.
We'll leave it with that one then. So thank you, Luke, for joining alongside me today for this game as Huddersfield were beaten at home to Burnley. We've got Russ there as well. Just want to bring Russ in just for a moment as well, if he's there, just for his take on that game. Obviously, it was a great performance from Burnley and Huddersfield. I think we definitely said it once in the commentary. We might have said it twice. Looked like they were a team who were suffering from the playoff final loss, weren't they? And Burnley, showed a lot of quality and a lot of good signs today. And if they can keep that forward, then they'll have a good season.
Yes, they will, Mike, and fantastic commentary from yourself and from Luke this evening. It was a brilliant game to watch, fantastic goal to win it. And Vincent Kompany, everyone thought Vincent Kompany won't get Burnley off to a winning start. Huddersfield Town tonight, but I was saying to a few friends earlier on, with the loss of Carlos Corberan, who was the Huddersfield Town manager last year, the loss of the two of their key players in Harry Toffolo and Lewis O'Brien. I always thought Huddersfield were going to struggle, not just in tonight's game, but this season. And when you listen back to the preview that we did prior to this game on the channel yesterday, us three, Mike, you could actually see. And then after you watch this game, to be honest, you'll probably understand why I've got Huddersfield as one of my 3 teams to get relegated, especially after losing those 3 key parts of their team, and one the manager and two of the key players, and especially Toffolo, who held that defence together at times last season, and was one of the main defenders for Huddersfield last season. And like I said, they held them together. He was unlucky in the playoff final with Huddersfield as well. And I thought
Yeah.
they were just going to kick on from last season, keep Cobra and keep O'Brien and Toffolo, and build a team around those two. Obviously, those two were being sold, and behind, from what I can gather from listening to people within, from behind Corberan's back, and that was one of the main reasons why Corberan was decided to resign when he did, which was come as a shock to me, to be fair. But I think Huddersfield on the showing, I think you can understand why, Mike. I put them as one of the three teams to get relegated this season.
Yeah, and you did, I'll come to Luke as well, just briefly, just to wrap it up. But you could see a real difference, golfing class between the two sides. You could see, these are two sides that if things from the opening day go how they're going to go throughout the season, you can see that they'll be at opposite ends of the table, because Huddersfield, really weren't getting anywhere near to Burnley in that first half. Burnley had, so much time, space. They were able to pick up passes on their own free will and as easy as they wanted to, really. And Huddersfield just couldn't create anything or do anything moving forward. And Burnley had that so easily at the back as well. I think, Muric probably won't have an easier 95 minutes all season. And as for Taylor and Howard Bennett, etc., they didn't have anything ready to do either. So you can see, that these two teams a long way away from each other in terms of, potentially Huddersfield kicking on from last season, and obviously Burnley looking the stronger and having a chance of bouncing back.
Oh, easily. I mean, you look at what was on show tonight, and the amount of space they gave the Burnley midfield. I mean, you don't win football matches by letting the opposition just dictate the ball and then not make a single tackle. I mean, we allowed teams to have the ball, but at least if it came near you, you put a tackle in or you threw yourself in front of the ball if a shot was going in. Okay, it doesn't always work, but you don't back away from a shot and then, especially one that's going to be on target, you at least try and get something on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's too much change in the Huddersfield team, although the midfield is still more or less exactly the same. I mean, Danny Ward didn't have anything really to do until the second half, when, right, they improved a little bit when Andrew came on and moved Russell next to him. But again, was that second half performance a championship top 10 performance?
No,
Probably not.
they've still got a few weeks left of the transfer window, and they've got to go in and they've got to look to improve. Yes, they brought in some players already, but they've got to look at bringing some creativity, because when you see the likes of Turton and Ruffles and Thomas and the likes of Koroma having those quiet games, or games as quiet as they did tonight, they've got to look at making some changes and doing things a little bit differently, because Ward was, literally he was feeding off the scraps.
But when you've got strong kind of defenses and like wing backs like Connor Roberts and Ian Matson,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get in down the sides. And if it's already evident on the Friday before the main set of fixtures actually go off that that's the case, and every other team would have watched that game and go, well, all we need to do is stop them down the side because they've got nothing through the middle.
No, yeah. And Burnley had it so easy through midfield. Like Josh Cullen, I think he had like the most or second most touches in possession and everything. And he was really, really good today. I know you gave Ian Matson player of the match, for yourself, but Josh Cullen, he deserves a massive shout as well. I thought he was sensational. I thought he was very good tonight.
I'd have to agree with you there, Mike. It was brilliant, Josh Cullen, and you can see why Vincent Company has fetched him to the club. He knows
Yeah.
what he can do, and he's proven it tonight what he can do in that midfield. Yes, at times, but the midfield for Burnley was when Huddersfield trying to get the ball up towards bypassing the midfield at times, but you could see why he fetched him in for his recovery challenges at the back as well, and I think he formed a good partnership with Jack Cork in that middle of midfield, and I
Yeah,
think
he did. He did.
JB, when he watches the game back or watches the highlights back, he'll be able to see why Josh Cullen played as well as why we're speaking of highly of Josh Cullen tonight, and especially Jack Cork. And Jack Cork was the captain tonight for Burnley. It looks like
Yeah,
he'll be the captain moving forward. And it was the captain's performance from Jack Cork as well.
it
And
was.
he was
It
one of
was.
the players last season, towards back end of last season, where some Burnley fans wanted him to be gone this summer, but
Mhm.
kept him. They've signed no contract, and excuse me, and you can see that he's done really, really well this evening.
Right, I think we'll wrap it up there. JB just put in that he thought Cullen had a very impressive performance, and I had to agree with that as well, as I mentioned just a minute ago. Ian Matson was also very good. There was a number of Burnley players that was good. I thought Ashley Barnes was good as well. He led the line very, very well. Was a bit unlucky not to potentially get a goal himself. But yeah, I thought
Good
Burnley
player,
were
Mike, for me.
impressive.
Another good player for me, Mike. I know he was making his debuts now, but Samuel Bastian, I thought he had a good 69 minutes on the field for Burnley tonight in his debut. Order with Bellis, I think he did a good job alongside Charlie Taylor tonight, and we shout out to Charlie Taylor. He's normally a left back, playing a centre half tonight. You would have thought he would be a centre half all his life with the performance he had there, and it was a fantastic display from Charlie at centre half, Mike, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I thought he was good. I thought Scott Twine was good when he came on. Obviously, he was unlucky when he hit the post from the free kick as well. Looked a danger, but we'll wrap it up there. And on the opening game of the EFL season 2022-2023, of course, it's Burnley that win this one by a goal to nil. Ian Matson's goal. It's the goal that gives Vincent Company his opening day 3 points and puts Burnley in a good position going into the rest of the season. If they can play how they did tonight anyway, that's for sure. People like JB and Luke's predictions of them having a good season really could come off and could come true. But opening day, Huddersfield beaten again as they were in that playoff final. They were going to have to do it the hard way this season, coming back and losing their opening game of the season as well. Still a few weeks left of the transfer window, and I'm sure they will spend and they will bring in some new recruits as they have to do. But it's Burnley that win on the opening day, finished Huddersfield 0, Burnley 1.